Today we're going to take a look at two of my favourite ways to prepare and break down a chicken. Hi everyone, this is James from BBQ.com and welcome back to another episode of BBQ Know. And today we're going to go over some basic butchery skills and we're talking about chicken. So one disclaimer right off the bat, I am not a butcher. I've learned this from watching different YouTube videos, and these are just two of the different ways I like to break down a chicken to cook it on the barbecue. First one we're going to look at is spatchcock. It's now become a famous way to cook a chicken. A few years back, beer can chicken was sort of the hip thing to do, and really now I think spatchcock chicken has took over from that, and in my opinion it is a much better way to cook a chicken. So I prefer to spatchcock it rather than even roasting it whole. In the second half of the video then we're going to look at how to break a chicken down completely. So we're going to start with the whole chicken, take the legs off it and we'll break them into drumsticks and thighs. We're going to take the wings off, and then we're going to look at how you break the breast down. So you can either keep it as a crown or break it down into two individual breasts. So you're not going to see anything sitting away over there. I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer and focus it on the chopping board, and we're going to start and look at the spatchcock chicken first. Okay, so we have a whole chicken here, and the first way we're going to look at is spatchcocking. So if we flip, everybody's used to looking at a chicken in this way around, but if we flip it over, so this is now the backbone of the chicken. Spatchcocking basically means removing this backbone, which allows us to flatten out the chicken. So if you can imagine, the spine runs right down the center here. So you want to take a sharp knife, you can fade it where the neck starts there, so you're coming in either side of that. First off, just run a slit right down, and you'll be finishing sort of either side of that person's nose as well. You can fade for the neck. So that's give us our guide of where we're cutting. There is some bones in here you're going to have to break down through, so you're cutting through the ribs down either side. So you might need to apply a little bit of pressure, so use a good stiff blade knife, or you can use poultry shears to cut it as well. I don't own any poultry shears, so we're going with the knife option. So just carefully place your knife, keep your hands out of the way, and with a little bit of pressure it has cut down through the ribs. Do the same on the other side. So that's the front half of your backbone out. So at the back of the bird again here, there's bones in here at the legs you need to break down through as well. So just place your knife and just with pressure on the back of your hand, just cut down through. Try and show this on camera, but ideally you would have the bird facing you. So again, just a little bit of pressure on the back of the knife and cut down through. You will get used to the sounds. It's not the most pleasant thing to listen to, but that's it. The backbone lifts out nice and clean. You can boil that down for stock if you want. So the bird then, not quite done yet. If we flip it over and turn your legs out, the idea of spatchcocking is to have everything on the one level. So with the backbone in, your breast's always sitting far higher than your legs, so that everything cooks at a different rate. Spatchcocking does away with that. So you take your legs and turn them inwards, which lies them out flat. And then with your breast, it's still sitting quite high here. So you can put pressure just with the heel of your hand and press down, and that will break that breastbone. If you're having trouble doing that, you can flip it over and put a little nick in it with the knife, which will help you open it out. But with a little bit of pressure, tuck those wings back in there, turn the legs back over, and that is your spatchcock bird. Everything's sort of sitting at that one level, nothing's sitting up too high. And the other great benefit of this one is you can now apply seasoning to this side and on the inside of the bird, whereas if you're cooking it whole you don't get that option. So spatchcocking, one of my favourite ways to cook a whole chicken. but we're going to go on now and have a look at how to actually break a chicken down into its component parts. So after a quick clean down, we're back with another chicken, and we're going to break this one down completely into its separate parts. So we're going to take the legs and thighs off it, and then we're going to break them into drumsticks and thighs. We're going to take the wings off, and that'll leave us with the crown, and then we're going to take the crown down into 2 individual breasts. So easiest thing to take off first are probably the legs. I'm going to try and do this the wrong way around. If I do it this way, you'll see. So if you feel for this natural seam down in between the leg, just put a cut in there first. That'll allow you to pry the leg open. You're feeling for the ball joint down in here of the leg, and you want that to pop. So just cut some of this skin. So that has fell out. If you feel with your finger, you can feel. So if you just hold and rotate that ball joint, you'll feel it popping out. If you can see that there on the camera, that's it there at my thumb. That's the point where you want to cut. So that's going to allow you to cut down through that cartilage that's in there. Now at this point, flip it over. There's meat on the back here that more often than not will just end up getting cut off. So if you hold the leg, come down round, and you're going around this, I think they call it the scallop. You can run your knife at an angle. Now let's just take off the whole leg. Okay, this little portion of meat here has been taken off. Normally I guess forgot about it, so don't forget that one. So we will do it once more on the opposite side. So again, just run a cut between the breast and the leg to allow you to open it out properly. And hold it and pop the joint. Here's the joint again, that ball joint has come out. And that's where you're going to be cutting through. So you can just break that little bit of cartilage that's in between them. And holding the leg up, around. It's kind of hard to do to a camera. Down through to take it off. So that's both legs have been taken off. I haven't really left too much meat on the back. Flip it back over. So there's our 2 leg portions. So similar idea if you're wanting to take the thigh meat here away from the drumstick. There's a joint in the center. You can put a cut just to see it. We see through where that cartilage is there. So that's the natural joint in the chicken. So just nice stiff knife, straight down through. There's your drumstick. And quite a small thigh, but it's the thigh nonetheless. Same on this side. Feel for that natural joint. Put a cut to look in. See it there. So again, just one swift movement with the knife. You're not cutting through bone, it's cartilage you're going through. That's your second drumstick. And your second thigh. So we'll move them off to the side. Next thing is the wings. Now, the wings are the one thing I struggle with the most. I'm going to go ahead first here and take these little tips off. So again, just at that natural joint, just put your knife, cut down through. Same on this side, natural joint. Rest your knife on it, straight through. So the wings are a similar idea to the legs. There's a little ball joint down in here. Now I sometimes struggle to find it. It's not the handiest to get at, but so similar idea as we've done with the legs. Put a cut here first. That lets us get down into that ball joint, and then try and rotate it out of the socket. Another cut here. Once you can feel where that ball joint is, and here at my thumb, you can then use your knife just to cut through the cartilage of it. And that's one wing off. So same again on this side. Just put a cut around. Feeling for that little ball joint in there. You can see it popping out. And then just cut straight through. That's your second wing off. Which leaves us with the breast. So there are a couple of different things you can do with the breast. We've still got all this sort of backbone. There's no meat here, this is all skin. So you can take your knife and run it down the rib cage here until you hit the ribs. Then turn your knife downwards, and you just need to cut down through the spine and remove that. So this part, there's very little meat on it. This is mostly skin, and that's your spine here. So you can use that for stock or get rid of it, and that leaves you with the on the bone crown. So you can leave it like that and cook it whole just as a crown, or you can split it down into the breast, which means your breastbone runs down here. So again, just with a sharp knife, make an incision until you get down to the bone, and just cut down through. And this part of the spine we don't really need, so you can go ahead and remove that. That's left us with two chicken breasts then. So again, you can take these right off the bone, remove all this breastbone and the bits of the rib cage, but cooking them on the bone is quite nice. So there we have it. That's the entire chicken broke down. So we have our two breasts, our two wings. Let's build it back together. Frankenstein chicken. Two wings, two thighs, two drummers. Again, there's very little waste with it. You're only really taking that main spine out and that little bit of skin. Everything else is left here. So you get plenty of meat out of one chicken. You're not wasting anything, but you get to cook these in a slightly different way. So this is the main reason I do it. My family prefer the breast meat, so I get to cook that with a different type of seasoning, and plus this cooks at a slightly different rate than the legs, or it's finished a little bit quicker. Myself then, I'll go thighs and drummers. You cook them to a slightly higher temperature just to make sure they're nice and tender, and I can put a bit of a hotter rub on there too. So it's a bit fiddly finding those joints, but just take your time with it. Be careful not to cut yourself when you're doing it. Make sure you're using a good sharp knife, and preferably a stiff blade knife as well. But give it a go. Break them down, gives you another option. Cooking that as a whole crown is quite nice, or you can split them up into two individual breasts. So give it a try and see what you think. So I hope you find that useful. Maybe that's something you've already known how to do, but if not, I recommend giving it a try. Butchering a whole chicken is a great skill to know, and it's quite a basic thing. They're not too difficult to take apart. But being able to buy a whole chicken, break it down into its component parts, and then you can store it in the freezer whenever you need it, it will save you a lot of money compared to buying each of those individual parts just from the shop or butchers. So if you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications bell so you're notified when I post new videos, and I'll see you in the next one.